Congratulations on your fight with Crute. We talked before that. I think we had a podcast in March, and you fought in April, late April. Excellent fight, man. Your jabs were spot on. Your patience was amazing. It seems like you really studied for that fight. Used your jabs effectively enough to actually hurt him and possibly knock him out, but then you set up a great right hand, which definitely caused some damage, and then just added to those jabs you continued to hit him with. And then that kick was, I just watched it again, the slow motion replay of it, but it was just spot on to that nerve. And like, whatever that is, man, that's a new thing. And you, did you practice that? I mean, is that part of your game plan for that fight, or is it, because I mean, it was like spot on.
Yeah, like in my game, I feel like I have this huge toolbox, and I haven't even touched most of it when I've been able to compete. So in this fight, we got a young, hungry, like super aggressive, really powerful dude.
Yep.
Like I'm the old guy in the division now, so like you gotta back those guys off a little bit so they're just not overwhelming you. Like I'm too old to be getting in firefights with these young killers. So instead of getting in these brawls like deep down in my heart like I want to do, I got to pull back a little bit and really just systematically take these guys apart. And I think a lot of that's just helped with training, because I'm by no means old, but I'm the oldest guy on the team. So, I'm just surrounded by monsters, and they're young and they want everything I have. So I'm getting used to having to deal with people like that every single day. So I've always had a really good jab. I've just never really taken the patience and really sat down and systematically used it at the beginning of a fight to really set the pace. I've always been a big kicker in the gym. I just get in there sometimes and fight. I don't really use it. So I feel like I'm turning a corner and just fighting smarter, being more mature, and really checking my ego instead of trying to play this whose dick is bigger competition with these guys. I just go out and show that I'm just better technically everywhere. So, I think DC said in the fight that it was the first kick that I landed, but if you kind of rewind the tape like 10 seconds, I crushed him with one right before that. And there was no noise to it, and he kind of blitzed me up against the cage. So I think the kick kind of got hidden in his blitz, but I absolutely crushed him. And he was trying to pin me on the fence the whole time, and then he finally did, and he kind of like took a gingerly step, and he backed off and let me off the cage. So you know how it is as a fighter. If someone's trying to get you to the fence and then they get you there and they let you off, there's something wrong. Yeah. So I just went right back to the kick, and that's kind of how it ended.
Well, two things from that fight as well. I mean, he definitely proved he's a tough guy. I mean, he still wanted to keep going, and he was beat. You beat him. I mean, fair and square, and you hit him with everything, and you stopped the fight. But he definitely wanted to keep going. His pressure was good. Even with his foot out, he tried to take you down and did take you down, and it was trying to control you. Did an excellent job of showing composure there, staying calm, getting yourself back to your feet. He definitely proved he was a tough opponent. So congratulations, man. That was a great fight. How'd you feel after the fight? I mean, 2 in a row in the UFC now, and back on a streak, and that had to have felt pretty damn good.
Yeah, the crowd was one of the craziest things I've ever felt in my whole life. I've never had. They were
screaming your name, man. I heard Lionheart.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I've never had it. I don't know if it was just people are really they were really hungry for live audiences again, and we were the first ones back, and I think I've been fighting so long without any crowds. I mean, it's been over 18 months or whatever with no crowds. So I think that my profile has raised through the pandemic. I've been working Dana thinks that working the desk has really helped my popularity, and I'm recognizable. And I think people are just hungry for live sports, and it did help that we're in Florida. Florida's a very patriotic state. I was the American. He was the guy from Australia. So I think that helped a little bit. I think there was a little bit of patriotism there. But like after that walk, there was probably no one in the world that was going to beat me. I was so hyped, and Tom Brady was cheering for me, and MGK was there. And I mean, it was just all the celebrities were out. So it was just, I was in a great place mentally. Afterwards, I was a little mad at myself. I did such a good job for 4.5 minutes of that fight of just really showcasing, like, I can be the technical, reined in guy that, essentially I can be the dog on a leash when I need to be. And then I hurt him and drop him, and I just run onto a couple takedowns like an idiot, like that old me kind of came out a little bit. So I was a little frustrated by that, but I wanted a clean finish too. The doctor's stopping it in between rounds. That's a clean finish, I guess, in most people's eyes. But for me, I wanted a clean stoppage.